red class, Friday, January 20th, inauguration day. And so here's what's happening. Last unit, we messed around with parabolas. We know they go up like that. We know the domain is from negative infinity to positive infinity, also real numbers for those who are taking their test today. You're going to need that. We know the range of a domain is starts at the bottom and then it goes up forever and ever. So in this case, the range of this one is about domain and range, because it's not. I just want to say some stuff from the last unit. So here, if you're looking for the range, you go there and you go up. So the range on this guy would start here at 0, and you go up to positive infinity. We know the domain was from left to right. It starts over here because of this arrow with negative infinity, goes all the way to this arrow here, positive infinity. One thing that I hope is happening to you is, as I'm saying this, whether you need to know it or not, just the idea that, okay, yeah, remember that. And in fact, I'm using the word parabola. It's becoming just the norm to you, which is the way math happens, which is the way it should be, at least in my class, which is at first, I don't know it. Oh, what is that? Then by the end or some point, he's talking about the domain, the range. You're just like, okay, yeah, I remember that. Today, they're going to try and do something with this formula up here. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to break up the important parts of this formula into 3 pieces, which is what I'm going to try and do initially. Then they're going to try and put them all together. On the test, they'll ask you to do some of that stuff. So here's what I need you to do. With your highlighter, you can choose, do I have different colors? The letter A, the letter H, and the letter K are going to be very important letters. So let's see what I want you to do, if it's possible. The letter A, I want you to highlight it with one color. And then on this top row, you're going to write A. Oops. Yeah. For this whole top row, let me see if they're doing A. They're not doing A for that top row. I'll have to see which letter they're doing. But basically, they're going to break down one of the letters. So let's see. This top row, move it to the right. That's going to be the H. So what is it that they're doing? They're going to highlight 3 of the letters with 3 different colors. Obviously, at your table, you have to switch up to use the first color. So you have to use the first color. Please shift that one so the person around your table can have it. So basically, my goal in this section is tell them what each letter stands for, the A, the H, the K. Tell them how those letters affect the parabola. Because today, all we're going to be doing is writing out equations that demonstrate how a parabola is being moved around. So let me mark this parabola. Let me see if this thing will give me power to grab it and move it. Would you give me the power to grab it and move it? You won't give me the power to grab it and move it. All right. All right. So, how does A, H, and K move things around? We're going to write little mini formulas. We'll do it so many times that eventually it'll be way easy to do. Hey, please move a parabola up and down. What does that do to the formula? Oh, I'm going to do something to the K. I'm going to write in a new number for the K. Move it up twice. Oh, put a +2. Move it down twice. Oh, okay, put a -2. Nice and easy. Hey, we want this parabola move left and right. Hey, put in a new number for the H. If you put in a plus number, like a +2, that means you move it to the left 2, +2. If you put in a -2, you move it to the right 2. That's all it's going to be. So it's just really a memory lesson. What about the A? Well, the A, if I make it a negative number, like a -2 or a -7, it makes the picture flip down. As long as there's a minus sign in front. Here, this is normal. It's a positive. But if you put a minus sign there, it flips down. These are the 3 things they want you to know. Negative sign, flip down. Put in a number on the H, it moves it left or right. Put in a number on the K, it moves it up and down. Those 3 things. That's what we're going to mess around with here. If it sounds easy, then that's good for you. Here's what I do want to do. It can be with the same highlighter, which I probably should have told you. Now you have to kind of do it again. This is the only time you probably have to make it match. But for the A, in that little small writing there, it says move it, opens up or down. Highlight that for that one, so that when you, Tom says, hey, what is the A going to do? And I'm sorry, now you have to switch back around to the colors. I almost say you could do it in the same color. The H, that moves it left or right. Eventually, you're going to have to write a formula that has all this long stuff here. Today, though, we're going to start with They'll start you off with one piece at a time, then they'll put the pieces together, then the K moves it up and down. So this is Unit 2 again on that paper that I handed out to you. Make sure your name and class code on there, but at the upper right hand corner, wherever you put it, usually in the upper right hand corner so it's all in the same place, put U2 as in Unit 2. Alright, oops. Will you erase? No, you just keep doing that. What if I do this? And then that. Will you erase? Hey, oh no, how do I undo that? Anybody know stuff about PowerPoint? Yeah. Yeah, see, I have to click on that eraser. Is there another eraser somewhere else? This guy here? Okay, perfect. Ooh, did you feel it? Did you feel it? I didn't know. I didn't know how to do that. Like, I wasn't faking just to see, ooh, can I get students? No, I didn't know. And it helped me fill my bucket. So I want to keep that thing real. Like, yes, it's sort of fake, but it's real. If you aren't sure how to do something, somebody else usually knows it. And it's easy for them. And then now I don't need them anymore. Which is kind of good until the next time I need a thing. They help me once. All right. I was a little excited about that. But the idea is just that they did help me fill my bucket. All right, so here's what we're doing. Move this one with your pencil, underline, move it to the right 2. All right. Nice and easy. I'm going to do mine in red just so it's obvious. Underline, move it to the right. Because it has moved to the right, I'm going to put an arrow on that thing like that. And the other thing is, we're going to start with the trickiest one. Should I start with the trickiest one? Yeah. All right. This is the tricky. The rest will get easier. Because we're moving this to the right, when it's time for us to put in a letter inside here with the H, I'm going to have you put a, how want to write it? Above it, I'm going to have you put the letter H, if mine will write. Slow. Okay. The other thing I'm going to write below that one is I'm going to put, to move something to the right, normally our positive numbers here, like say you're here and you move it to the right, usually the positive numbers are to the right. You move something to the left, the negative numbers are to the left. It makes sense. So if you're going to move something to the right, usually should be like a, like a +2. If you're going to move something to the left, it'd be a -2. This is the tricky part because in the formula, this minus sign says when we have to move something to the left or to the right, in math, a minus sign is also read as the opposite of whatever. So this is x is the opposite of h. In other words, if h tells me to move it to the right, where normally it would be a plus, we have to do the opposite. So under here, put down a -2. Somewhere we're going to put into the formula a -2. Do me a favor, see if you can do the same thing on this one. This one, us to move 4 to the left. I'll start you off by putting your arrow to the left. Above it, I want you to put the letter H, so that you get used to the fact that, hey, we're messing around with the H's left and right. Always has to do with the H's. And then below it, in quotes, I want you to put down what the number should be, plus or minus. That's the important part. The number they're going to give you, the only part that can mess you up is, hey, is it plus or minus? And again, in this new unit, this will be standard one. It'll be the section that most people get right away. So here it comes on this one. What should I put below that that arrow, please? +4. Now, we haven't put it into the equation. The equation is the important part. And I just want you to, don't do this last part. What we'll do when we come to class again, the hope will be we'll just finish off this last column. So it might still do something different than we need, but for now, we'll just do the first 2 of each kind. So to the left of this whole section, and we haven't finished it, please put an H and circle it. That way you know this whole line is just practicing the H's. And this is technically your math should be. I don't know what math you've had in the past, but it should start piece and go up, add another piece, add another piece. And if you do each of the pieces, you should be good. Hey, Thomas, how do I write the equation? Well, step 1, we're going to write the original equation for any parabola. A parabola always begins with this one here. Y equals x squared. That is the most basic form of the equation of a parabola. This is the official equation of a parabola that rests right there, and whose minima, you may remember that word from last time, whose minima is at 0, 0. So we're going to write down here 0, comma 0. Just to remind you of the word minima. For those who are taking fixing their test today, of course, you know the minima is the lowest point of a parabola. Okay. So the parabola whose minima is at 0, comma 0, this is the equation. Do me a favor. The equation on this one is going to be quite similar to the one right there. Why are we writing the equation twice? In math, the more you write things, the less you have to memorize them. Automatically, it's just going to be in your brain because you wrote it a bazillion times. Now, for those who are like, okay, what am I writing here? My hint to you will be the minima is going to be right there at 0, comma 0. So if you're not quite sure, okay, oh wait a second. So go ahead and put that in. What is the equation that I'm writing, someone? Y equals x squared, same guy. And if you look on the whole page, they all give you that same equation because he's the basic, he's where you start. He will also be called the parent. So you write parent over him in parentheses. This equation is called the parent. In other words, he's where we're beginning. From him, all the new stuff will be the offspring, the children. When we move it up, we move it down. Those are going to be the offspring, the children. So that's going to be the parent function or the parent equation. All right, let's build this thing now. So we're working on h's. Okay. The rule is simply this. The equation, when you're going to move it 2 to the right, that minus 2 is just what you needed. The equation is going to be y equals, because we're messing around with h's, there has to be a parenthesis. You always know you're moving left or right when you see a parenthesis, and it looks a little something like this. I wish I could show a different color. X and the number 2. But the question is, okay, what sign is going to go between the x and the number 2? In this particular case, you already wrote it. You wrote that it is minus 2, and it's raised to the second power. Mine's getting mixed in there. But again, you can see this middle piece that we're doing right now. In a different color. And again, today is supposed to be basic. You get to see these again. This is the equation. On the test, they may ask you, please write down the equation for the parabola who's been moved 2 units to the right. You're going to write down y equals, and again, y equals x squared is where it always begins. For left or right, you have a parenthesis, and in it, you have to put something along with that x. Where do I put the x? Oh, if it's 2, I know it's going to be a 2. If it's to the right, it's a minus 2. If it's to the left, it would have been a plus 2. Do me a favor. Look at what we have here. See if anybody want to ask anything before I ask you to do number 2. Anybody want to ask anything before I actually try to do number 2? Hey, where'd you get 2 from? How'd you know it's a minus, not a plus? And you go to the right, isn't that positive? Now, eventually we're going to draw pictures of what they're asking for now. Let's go ahead and just start off with the equation on the first 2. Alright, do number 2 for me, please. Alright, here it goes. Someone tell me what to write on this one. Y equals what? Say it again. I'm here to kind of whisper. The x plus the 4, and it still has to be raised to the second power. Now, don't lose that part. In order to be a parabola, you have to be raised to a second power. If you just put the x plus 4 but no second power, then it's linear. It's just a straight line. Alright, let me draw the first picture. You draw the second picture. Don't do the third one. We're going to save that one for Monday so that after you've forgotten this all over the weekend, then of course you still have that. Alright, hey Thomas, how do I actually draw this picture? I just actually do what the instructions say. Move the parabola 2 units to the right. When they say move it 2 units to the right, they're saying take the minimum point, which eventually is going to be called the vertex. Just know when they start calling it the vertex, it's going to be the nickname for that one. But move the minima 2 to the right, and then sketch another parabola. So the instructions for the picture, you just do exactly what they tell you. Move it 2 to the right. Okay, move it 2 to the right. But the equation, this is the tricky part with the h's. The h's are always the opposite. Do me a favor, of course, draw the second picture. And then we're about to leave the h line. So are there any questions about the h line? Again, so you can see in terms of attendance, attending regularly is way important because, again, I build it piece by piece. If you're coming after the fact, then it's like, okay, I'm watching the video where sometimes it doesn't capture it quite the same. You didn't get the chance to write the problem just like we did. But the more you come, the easier it is to help fill your bucket. All right. Someone different has an answer. Tell me what I'm going to do when I draw my picture. Where am I going to move it? Uh-huh. I feel like I heard it. All right, to the left. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, here's what's true. Some students think Algebra 2, because it's after geometry, is supposed to be way hard. The truth of it is, you do algebra, geometry, algebra 2, but that's just because how school set it up. Really, you could teach this to an algebra 1 student, because just the concept of just moving it back and forth. If they don't know what a parabola is, you would have told them what it is. So yeah, it's algebra 2, but really they're all kind of like, all right, tell me what to do. I'll try and remember it. Put on the test, I'll do it. The only part on that is, tell me what to do. Oh, shoot. I forgot what you said. Here's a test. Oh, I failed it. It's only memory. So for those who have ever felt like, okay, I'm not really good at math, I like to think, if you have a super memory, you get to be super in math. If your memory like, then math, or any of the stuff, becomes pretty tricky. All right, any questions on this one? We're leaving the H's. H is supposed to be the hard part, because the sign switches. Anybody know where it, well, how did I do that? All right. Only because the sign switches. Move it to the right, move it to the left. All right, here we go. Let's go down to the next section. Next section. There are only 3 sections in there, some of them on the back where they're going to put it all together. And again, I want the second half of this class for those who tested, so I'm not going to take super long on the second one now that we have the rhythm. I'm trying to get to number 4. This one I'm going to let you guess by giving you a little bit of hint and see what you come up with. For the equation for number 4, here is your hint. First, this is the K section. Okay, you can circle that. This is the K section. The hint with the K section is simply this. And again, some of you obviously can do it on your own. Because, notice here, the H had a minus H, which means when they give you a number, move it up or move it to the left, move it to the right, you have to put the opposite sign. The K, because it has a plus, if they say move it up 2, it's just a plus 2. If they move it down 2, it's just a minus 2. It doesn't change. The sign doesn't change. Oh, but they don't know what to do with all this stuff. All right, I guess I better do that for. Well, no, let me have them write. Write pencil. Do me a favor. Try to write out what the equation is probably going to be for this one here. My hint is there won't be any parentheses. Try to write out what the equation will be here to move it up to. The hint is there won't be any parentheses. Let's see what they write. I want to move it up 2 units. I'm going to put my arrow. My arrow. I'll still do it in blue. I'll do it in blue. Then also I'm going to put my plus 2. That might help some people. And then in a moment, I'm going to choose this side of the room here. This side of the room, you guys get back up. You can do the second one. This one I'm going to ask on this side. If you guessed already, somebody on this side of the room here on this left side, tell me what I'm going to write for my equation. Of course, it all starts with y equals. If we have to guess over here. Huh? Yeah, that's it. Take a look at it, see if it's true. The only bad part about this part, no, it's just free part. All right, go ahead and do the second one. And then eventually we're actually going to move the parabola up too. Now, of course, what they're doing now is they're separating into 3 separate pieces. So it could be, once they start mixing them around, they're going to try and catch some of you. All right, this side of the room over here on the left side, I'm going to ask you for that equation in just a moment. Do me a favor, the way I put my arrows up and down, left and right, put that on there too. That lets me know, even if they missed their equation, they knew kind of what should have been there. All right, this one wants down 2. Yeah, the K is straightforward. All right, this side of the room over here, someone say it out loud, please. So for those who ever say, this is why when a student says, I'm not good in math, I'm like, yeah, I hear you, but you're not bad in every piece of it. There's some pieces where they just tell you, and you just do, yeah, there's some parts you got to figure out, but A lot of it, they just tell you, you just have to be there and remember it. I'm going to draw the picture, or I'm going to, in geometry, for those who were in there with Brian, sometimes you had a triangle and you had to transform, you had to flip it, that is, you had to reflect it, you could translate it, or you could dilate it. Well, what they're doing with these is the translate. Translate just means you take the picture and you slide it this way, you slide it this way, slide it that way, slide it that way. So in Algebra 2, you're doing a little geometry. I'm gonna translate this picture up to 1, 2. Oh, one thing I didn't do over there, which I need to do here. The new minima, I need to write in that that coordinate. So I moved it up 2, so now the new minima is 0, 2 on the new parabola. If you can, I need you to go back to the other 2 parabolas and write in the new minima. I'm about to switch that word minima to vertex. Vertex is the word that they use over there. Please write down the vertex of the new parabola. What's the minimum for the new one? For those who are able to do this one and draw it, go ahead and write in the new minimum on this one, and then go back and do the minimum on the other ones as well. I'm going to see if I can do the old ones. All right. We're nearing the A section. Once we do the A section, we're going to flip back and put all 3 of this together. Okay. If you're not confused, that's great. That means I'm doing my job well, and you're doing your job well as a student. Now, how they determine what they want you all to know, that's an odd thing. Like, why would they want a young person to know this? I think it's more about exercising your mind. Like when you do jumping jacks, like there's no reason to do jumping jacks in real life other than to exercise. So here's what I need you to do over here. For those who didn't write it in already, the new minima on this blue one is, let's see. Say it out loud again. I heard someone say it. All right, 2, 0. Yeah, if you're on the X line, it's 2, 0. By the way, for those who are messing around with testing today, what's the word that they use for a dot on the X line, where it hits the X line? It's in Unit 1. It's called the x-intercept. So you can see when they step over to the new stuff, it still kind of keeps from the old stuff. What's the x-intercept on this parabola over here when we moved it? When you're on the x line, the 0 winds up being what the y is. It doesn't go up or down. It's going to be just the opposite on the y, also called the y-intercept. Let's see if I can get down to that 3rd row and then piece them all together. That way, if they're not confused, we can piece them all together on the 3rd row. Don't do number 6. We're going to leave those for next class. I'm trying to do like as a little mini test. All right, everyone, don't do it right now. Do 1, 3, whatever. See what you remember. Do it from memory. Is the idea there. So that's why we're going to do it all now. Let's see this guy. He went down to. The parabola was translated down to math talk. Some students, they used to stress vocabulary. I didn't give out the sheets this time, but again, the more math talk you know, the easier math is. 0, -2. All right, we did our H, we did our K. H is the hardest, K is the easiest, and now here comes A. Let's see if A messes anybody up. All right. Go down. Yeah. Go down to 7. I'm going to have you guess on it. Hey, why do you have us guess? Your mind is most ready to learn after it's guessed and answered. Because the mind then is like, wait, did I get it right or did I not? Your mind is like, all right, give it to me. If I just write it, your mind is on like, okay, whatever he's writing, whatever he's writing. It's not trying to figure anything out, which is why, again, guessing sometimes is good. What if I get it wrong? It doesn't matter. Your mind is open now to it. Try to write down the equation for 7. Your hint, I don't want you to do like that. Your hint is there won't be any parentheses. That's your hint. This is the A. If you go all the way back up to the top of the equations, there's an A. Guess what you'd write down? There are no arrows to write for 7, so we'll see how that looks. Do me one favor. Do underline the word stretch, factor. Go to number 9. We're not doing. What does yours say? Anything? It says compression. All right, let me put compression in, and I'm glad it does. Does the middle one say stretch?
No. The left one says stretch.
Okay, so they did the opposite, which is still good. Because almost what I want to say to you is, whether they say stretch factor or compression factor, those words don't kind of matter, other than to say, when they say stretch or compression, they both mean the letter A. Um, Once you know it's the letter A, then you know where the number goes. It's at the very front of everything. So let's get these two, and then we can squeeze some from the back, and then that's going to be the main thing for today in terms of the first half. Second half, again, um, those who've turned in the stuff to me, then that is your 6 pages and all that. That'll be good. Some who took their test last time, I'm going to return it to you, and we'll kind of mess around with it. In any case, underline compression factor. That's fine. I wish I would have done the fraction, but it doesn't matter. I want you to try and guess an equation. This is the A section. Please put A. Circle it, please. If you've answered before, hold off. I'm going to see if someone who hasn't answered can throw it out. If they don't, then we'll use it as backup. Can someone say what the equation is going to be? Y equals what? Someone's guess. The first time you guess, it's okay. Guess right, guess wrong. For those who've answered before, you hold off right here. Where am I going to put that for, which, again, there's your A. You have the beginning. So that will begin it. Now, again, I heard y equals 4. Starts us off. We need something after that, 4, to make it a parabola. The x squared part is the piece that makes it a parabola. It's the parent function. It's the thing that you're putting something on, so that I'm going to do something to that x4. Either I'm going to do a stretch factor. I'm going to put a 4 in front of it. Maybe I'm going to move it to the left and right. Oh, I'm going to put a parenthesis on that x and put the square on the outside. Oh, I'm going to move it up or down. I'm going to put a +2 at the end. But it always starts on that y equals x squared. If you didn't get that one, fix it, and then go ahead and put in the second one. Now, how to draw the picture, that part I'm going to tell you in a second. You're not going to be able to just guess that part. But go ahead and put it on the second one. From there, we'll see if, let me get down to the bottom. I was skipping pages. Maybe if I shrink it. Alright, anyone can say this one. No, someone who hasn't answered. So people who've answered, you hold off. Someone else tell me what the equation will be for number 8. If you haven't answered, why? Anybody's answered. Alright, I'll take those who've answered. Someone say it, please. Take a look at it, see if it's confusing. Oh, shoot. No big deal. Stretch factor means this. A parabola starts at a regular pace. If you put a regular number, a whole number like a 3, a -3, it just means it's going to close up. It gets narrower and narrower. They call it a stretch factor, but that's what it means. If there were a fraction, it would start regular. I don't think my arms will go out that much more, but it would stretch out. It's kind of the opposite. You think a fraction would make it smaller. In this weird case, a fraction makes it wider, and a regular number makes it narrower. So how do I draw the picture of this one? Ooh, he's going to be tricky to that negative sign. I'm going to ask you to try and draw that one, guess on it with a pencil, but I'll do this first one. Because he's a +4, here's the original. Do me a favor on the original, go ahead and put that y equals x squared. That way you always know that one. To be narrower means whatever the original size is, you got to fit inside of that guy. Do I move up or do I move down? No. You just fit right inside of it. And there it is. And really I should have put on this one that this is the y equals 4x squared. Just labeling them. On both of them, can someone say what, on the new one, what the vertex will be? That is the minimum. What will it be on this one? Yeah, just check to see if they thought something. We didn't move it up or down. So the vertex is still at that 0, comma 0. Still in the same place. Dang it. Am I doing something? Alright, whatever. I know how to get back. I don't need anybody coming from my bucket like that. And that's a good thing. Alright, oh. How to draw the picture on this one. Yeah, do it in pencil. That way, if it messes up, at least you're like, what? You didn't tell me the negative sign meant I had to. And then how do I know with the 3 what to? This is the last one you kind of check on your own. I think I'm gonna try to do maybe 2 on the back. 2 on the back, and then we'll pick up there. 1, 2. Now, hopefully, some of you can see. Like, say, that a couple students are absent. When we start next time, I won't go through each of the steps, but it's gonna go at a speed where they're like, "Whoa, slow down!" I hate math; it always goes too fast. But really, you just got to be there the whole time through. All right. Can anyone tell me kind of what should happen with this picture because of the negative? Should flip down. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this original, the original one here for you. Well, I'm going to put it dotted. You didn't have to do this. You could do this. But what I want to show is not only will this new green guy flip down, but because he's a 3, he has to squeeze within the original. And it's hard to see that he squeezed within the original without something there to see that he's narrower. What happens if I don't put that dotted line? Nothing really happens. If it looks exactly the same size as the guy above, I might take away some points. But if I can tell, obviously, it's narrower than that original guy, then I know. And for this guy, I'm going to put y equals, what is he, a negative 3. The negative tells me he points down. Take a look at it, see if you're confused. I'm going to try and find 2 in the back, one where they do a combo of an H and a K. That's the most famous combo. And then I'm going to see if they do a combo with an H, a K, and an A. We'll do those 2 combos, and then that will be the intro to the new stuff. Fraction, good question. The original, and I probably should have done it, the green would have gone on the outside of it. So let's say if I'm going to do one in red. I'm going to make up one right here on the side, so if anyone gets to choose on this made up thing because it's not on there, let it go, but just so someone can see it. Say if I had a y equals, I'll make it 2/3 just so you know the fraction doesn't matter. As long as it's a fraction, any fraction. 2/3, let's say, then x squared. And I'm putting it on this picture. All that means is that my guy has to go on the outside of the original. And that's this guy here. And so when it's time to do that last one, don't do 9 now. I'm going to save that one, hopefully for Monday when it's time to quiz you on it. You'll do these 3 kind of as quizzes. But yeah, fractors must go out wider. I wish I'd done one regular number, 1 fraction, but I didn't. All right, let me see if we can flip one on the back page, see if I can find a combo. 5 minutes or less. You do a 2, okay, and let me see if they do a 3. Good, good, good.
Oh, that's
Number 13, is there a 13?
yeah, but
Okay, so let's see. So I see percent. We'll go up. 10 does a single combo, and then 13. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let me see what you would do. And again, that formula at the top shows you all the pieces of how it looks like when you have all 3 parts of the combo. The X part has to be, the H has to be within the parenthesis. The K, he's all the way at the end by himself. And then ultimately, the A, if they do anything with that, he's in front of that parenthesis. So let's try 2 of these to see what their brain does, trying to put it all together. Maybe do 2 more just in case they get it wrong, and then stop there now into that final hour that I actually need to help others. So here we go. Try 13. And 16. All right. Do 10 and 16. Yeah, 10 and 16. 10 has 2 pieces. 16 has 3 pieces. For 10, It's going to be y equals the h part. How am I writing that, please? Say it again. So I want to move to do it to the right. We know to the right winds up being minus 1. So we have our x minus 1. That square thing must be there. Without the square thing, you change it. Over here, what am I doing with the k? Say it again. That down 4 is a minus 4. Take a look at this. It is true. After I do the second one, I'll have you. I don't have time for it. I almost want you to do 11 and the next one in line, but for now, maybe I'll just leave it as is. Let me see if we get that second one. We'll do it again, and there'll be a bonus for anyone to just say what to do with. Anybody know if there's a better way for me to try and do this? I'll do it like that. All right, that side again. Someone who hasn't answered over there. What am I doing with the units to the left? What am I doing with the 7? Someone different than who just answered? This side of the room? I heard it. Say it again. X plus the 7. Someone different than the person who answered last time. What am I doing with the k? Plus 2. And then a bonus. Someone hasn't answered. Where am I putting that 4? Or just answer it. All right. Take a look at it. See how it feels? It's a puzzle. Put together 5 times in a row, and it's easy puzzle to put together. But for those who don't like math, I get it, but it doesn't always have to be very hard. Now, if a teacher just gave you that formula, didn't build it with you, I get it. But as long as you here come regularly, I'll help you fill your bucket. Now that first unit, we got to kind of the pieces or whatever at the beginning. We're past it. Unit 2 can be a fresh start for some. Go. With that and the time, I'm gonna